Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. In this episode, I'll be teaching you how to make these mini ombre cakes. First, we're going to make our vanilla cake recipe. So I have my butter going in a standing mix on medium speed, and I'm gradually adding in my caster sugar and beating until it's nice and light and pale. Add in your vanilla extract, and I'll have the recipe for this in the description box below. Beat that in and then add in your eggs one at a time, and I'm making sure my egg is incorporated completely before I add in my second one. Once that's all combined, you can add in your sour cream, mix that through gently, and then add in your dry ingredients and your milk in stages. And when you do this, it allows the air in your batter to kind of remain airy, and it makes for a much fluffier and lighter cake. Just like so. And then I've divided it into 3 different bowls, and I'm adding in Regal Purple in soft gel food color by Americolor. And I'm folding that through again because we want to try to keep as much air in that batter as possible. Next, I'm going to make it a lilac, kind of medium purple color. And the third, I've just left it without any color whatsoever. So I've got my tray and I've just sprayed it with some canola oil, and I'm adding on my non-stick baking paper. I'm going to start adding in my cake batter. So I started with the darkest color, and I'm adding it to about 1/3 of the cake pan here. And I'm making a nice sharp kind of edge there, just so that I can neatly fit in all 3 colors. So do the same with the other 2 colors. And make sure that your cake is level. That way, if it's the same height, it'll bake evenly as well. You might find that you might need to remove some batter in order for that to happen. And then bake that in a 180 degrees Celsius oven for about 30 minutes. When that's done, make sure it's nice and cool, and then use a serrated knife to take off the top. And try and make it as level as possible, because that'll make for a much more level cake at the end. And then peel off the top to reveal the colors of the cake. How cool is that? And then next, I'm using a 2 1/4 inch circle cutter to cut out my layers of cake. And then just pop those out, and it should look something like that. Then make sure to do the same for all your other colors in there. And you might want to use the excess maybe for cake pop batter if you like, or you can just throw it out. Add a little bit of buttercream onto your cake board to adhere the cake down, and I'm starting off with my darkest layer. Then using a 6B tip by Wilton, I'm going to pipe on my little dollops. And I'm using my spatula here just to help me remove the buttercream from the piping tip. Otherwise you'll find that as you try to lift, it'll lift off the cake or it just won't stick. So the spatula comes in handy that way. Place the second layer on top, center it and press it down. And then I'm adding some chocolate coated candy in between each dollop that I've made. Then do the exact same thing for the top. Again, using that spatula so that little dollop doesn't move anyway. And try to line up the dollops with the previous dollops you made before. If not, that's okay. The chocolate covered candies will make it look more even anyway. So center it as you need, and then press it down to adhere it. And then add your chocolate coated candy just above your previous ones. I think it looks a lot neater that way. And then to make the flour, I'm using an AT tip, also by Wilton. And I'm just anchoring that buttercream down to the cake and kind of pulling upwards. You kind of round it off, kind of semicircle, and then you pull it upwards, and that helps to create the shape for your petals. Bit of a perfectionist here as well. I want to make sure that they're all the same length. That just looks a lot nicer that way. Then start another circle directly inside. And you'll notice that I'm trying to line them up in between the previous 2 petals. And I think it looks a lot nicer that way, rather than having the petals directly in front of each other. Just too uniform, I don't know. I think in nature, the flowers wouldn't be so perfect. So in between each petal looks best, in my opinion. And at the very end, just make a huge dollop in the center, and you can leave it like that, but I've decided to add in one of my mini macaroons. And I'll have a recipe video and tutorial for that one there as well. Looks just like that. And showing you guys one more time, just squeezing the buttercream onto the cake before I pull off, making sure it's anchored, starting in between the 2 previous petals, And as you get into the center of the cake, you'll notice that you'll be pulling your tip upwards a lot more. So the petals are standing a lot taller as you get to the center. Then add that dollop in the center and place on your sweet little macaroon. And you're done. And that's how you make these really pretty vintage individual cakes. These are very, very sweet to go with on a dessert table. They will look really nice as individual bonbonnières, sort of in a little box with a little bit in. They look really sweet too. Or even just at a party just to impress the kids or the adults even. These are really pretty. And I think the macaroon kind of just finishes it off perfectly. I mean, you could always just have that little dollop of buttercream in the center as well. You might do it purple instead of teal, but I think the edible chocolates make it for me. I don't know. It just pops. I love it. I hope you guys are able to take something away from this video, like a new technique or something you'd like to try out, a little inspiration. I'll teach you also how to make those mini macaroons. They are just awesome. And thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time.